Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Come to you live from our comfy couch here on the outskirts of the internet. This is the Gaming Saloon Reviews for February 6, 2022, with your host, Peacemaker2448, and Rapid Epsilon.
Guess what I did again?
Did you forget to get a picture for the show?
I transition over, I'm like, right.
Wait, that's
Dang
not
it.
Kuuga. Oops.
I get the funny feeling this might actually be one of the few times that if I just do like I normally do, I'm not actually going to grab something spoilery on accident.
I don't think you can. I don't think. I mean,
I can. I completely can, and I know that's possible.
I think you've seen all of Kuuga's forms.
Right. That's kind of the point I was getting at there.
Yeah.
Finding one that'll size properly is the problem.
So yeah, folks, as
That'll work.
Tommy mentioned, we are covering La Kuuga. We are doing the official Shout Factory release of this, which has the Gronki subtitled.
Unless something gets said at a certain point that really is like big spoilers, I don't feel like I've seen anything so far that is like, that could be something.
So far, no. I think in a few episodes' time, there will be something that is said that puts you ahead of the show, or ahead of the main cast in a sense. But, okay, here's the weird thing. I feel like anything you can get from the Grongi subs, you can infer from the scene itself, without the subtitles. It's just confirmed to you via the subs.
God bless. It still didn't size properly.
Of course not. Why would it?
Actually, it might. Hold on. If I, would hit the right arrow key, nope. It actually still does not. Okay, I can make this one. Because I can just do that. Can't believe. God, again.
It's just how we start off new shows.
I guess.
Also, 1 second, I'll be back. Alright, I'm back.
Welcome back.
But yeah, I don't think it's that big of a deal. At least I don't. And honestly, the only version of Kuuga that would have the Gronki unsubbed is the original TV broadcast. Every version since then has had the Gronki subbed. Yeah. It was only a thing for when the show originally aired, and since then it's just like, no, they're subbed now. We're not dealing with this. But yeah, just some quick admin. This is Kamen Rider Kuuga. It debuted January 30th, 2000, right at the turn of the century. Our main writer is Naruhisha Arakawa, who wrote exactly 2 episodes of Double and a ton of Sentai. Would you care to guess the 2 episodes of Double that he wrote?
Which ones?
Heaven's Tornado.
Huh.
I couldn't stop laughing because I'm like, of course he wrote the Heaven's Tornado episodes, the worst 2 episodes of Double. Those episodes, of course, which feels weird because I keep seeing people complain about like the end of Double, like the last like 4 or 5 episodes of it being bad, and I'm like, really?
Then
that's worse than Heaven's Tornado? I'm sorry.
I'll be the one to be like, what are they watching then?
I'm sorry. Heaven's Tornado is the worst 2 episodes of Double. I'm sorry, but no.
Like, wait, what? you say what now?
And our main director is no one in particular, because here's the weird thing about Kuuga in terms of directing. It kind of has a rotation of directors that all direct a chunk of the series. And not like a chunk in a row, but like despondent episodes.
Well, like, I mean, to be fair though, this is kind of the revival kind of deal, so that's kind of understanding. Trying to figure out what foothold works best.
Yeah, our directors are Osamu Kaneda, Nobuhiro Suzumura, Tako Nagashi, Hidenori Ishida, and Katsuya Watanabe. And I will pull up their individual pages real quick to give you an idea. Some of them I don't have a count on, unfortunately. Watanabe did 14 episodes. Hideyoshi did 17. Nagashi did 11. I do not have a count for Suzumura because they don't list his. But I do get the special note of he directed that live-action Sailor Moon series. I always forget about that until I see a mention of it, and I'm like, oh yeah, right, they did a live-action Sailor Moon series. And then Kaneda did the least amount at 4. That's of the directors I have immediately available to me in terms of a list. I think there's 1 or 2 more that might have did a one-off episode or so. So that gives you an idea of like the breadth of directors, because I don't think there's a main director on this series.
I mean, that wouldn't surprise me.
Which feels weird because thinking back, I'm like, you know, the show's fairly consistent directing-wise. It doesn't feel like there's like 6 different directors on this show.
I mean, especially compared to how some of...
Yeah, you can tell immediately when Sakamoto has taken over the show for a couple episodes. But, like I said, we are watching the official Shout Factory release of this that is available on the Tokusatsu network of streaming services like Tubi and so forth. It is all 49 episodes. There is technically a 50th episode, but it is a gag episode, so it doesn't count. there is, I believe, 2 recap specials that are not a part of this episode count, but they are recap specials, so meh. More or less everything you need to watch of Kuuga is here, because Kuuga also didn't get a movie. And that's what the 50th episode is about. This is a gag episode about them getting a movie and then not getting a movie. And I guess for reference, this will be my 3rd time through Kuuga, 2nd time through this specific translation of it, and this will be your 1st.
Yep.
So, any thoughts going into Kuuga before we hit the episodes?
I mean, not really. As long as it's better than Ryuki,
I would say
I will be that person.
So. I would say definitively this is better than Ryuki. Alright then, we shall kick off with episode 1, Revival. So we start in the past, the ancient past, as we see the original Kuuga, Riku, fighting off the Grongi. We get little flashes of the first 4 forms for Kuuga that aren't growing form. We'll get to that one later. But after he defeats the Grongi, he seals himself in a coffin in order to fully seal the main bad guy of the series, who isn't showing up in person until like the last 2 episodes. Just gonna tell you that up front. The final boss of the series, we're not seeing him for a while. In terms of who he actually is. We'll get glimpses of him throughout, but we're not dealing with him until the last like couple episodes or so. Which I think people have had problems with.
I mean, at least he's not there for 5,000 episodes.
Fair. So we fast forward to the present day. A group of archaeologists in the mountains have uncovered Riku's coffin. They are excavating it, they are cracking it open, and after they open it, we see Riku's hand twitch. Oh no. They also mention, wouldn't there be a thing about being cursed or something if we touch this or open it? And I think the lead guy rightfully points out, look, we've already touched this, so we're cursed, so fucking crack it open, let's go. But that brings us to the opening, and how do you feel about Kamen Rider Kuuga's opening called Kamen Rider Kuuga? Yes, the opening is called Kamen Rider Kuuga.
Yeah. I'm gonna be flat honest. I watched it the first time just because I was like, you know what? I know I have to, but I actually immediately lost interest on it.
Fair. It's not as upbeaty as a lot of current Rider openings are.
Not even that. It's not even... It kind of is like even a little lackluster compared to like even what Ryuki's was.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Pretty much I watched it the first episode and then I skipped it the other 3.
Yeah, it's fine in my book, but I don't think it's anything to write home about. It's mainly used as a meme because of the no fear, no pain line. Because people will cut out the no part and for meme purposes.
I could see that.
But after the opening, we cut to the Tokyo International Airport because, by the way, I hope you're ready for locations and timestamps because that's the series. when we get to a new location, we're getting a location and a timestamp. I don't know if all the continuity's in place on those timestamps. I'm not gonna bother. Because I think that would require me to understand the geography of Japan's like cities and stuff, and nope, I'm good. I'm not doing that much homework. But this is where we meet our main writer, Yusuke Godai, who is trying to comfort a crying child who he's looking after until his parents show up, because the kid got lost and he told the cops after he found him, and then the cops are trying to get the parents to him.
So he told the cops at least?
I would assume so.
Because nothing was ever explicitly said, so it's like, yeah, I kind of hope he did.
Yeah. But he tells a story about getting lost in Nepal, because weirdly, Godai and Eiji have the same energy of just being hermits. I don't know if it's me, but they exude the same energy.
Yeah, they do. It's one of those I'm like, oh, I might see the inspiration in Eiji's character now.
Mm-hmm. But the story doesn't work, so Yusuke decides to start juggling, and that cheers the boy up, and Yusuke gives him a thumbs up. The boy returns the thumbs up. I hope you're ready, because that is the closest thing to a catchphrase Yusuke gets in this series. Because what is Kuuga's catchphrase is a trick question. It's a thumbs up. It is not a verbal statement of any kind. But the parents get there with the cop. The kids reunite with the parents. They thank Yusuke for looking after him, and Yusuke just rides off. Like, alright, I got somewhere to be. This is when we catch up with Sakurako Sawatari, our main supporting cast member that's not a cop, because we'll meet the other one soon. It's about the best way I could put Sawatari.
Fair.
She's one of two main supporting cast members. But she's looking at photos of the coffin. When as she's talking to someone, she then hears a commotion. And that's when someone busts out of somewhere in this tomb and starts murdering people. I believe at this point, right? This is the bad part of copying. So. This is the bad part of copying the nose. It's just like, ah, crap. Am I formatting this? Drawing this correctly?
I feel like you're right.
Well, actually, before then, Yusuke climbs in through the window and tries to scare her while wearing a mask he picked up from somewhere, and she waves it off because it's normal. But yeah, after that, she then hears the commotion of like, oh no, people are dying. And that's when Yusuke immediately, he's already halfway out the door by the time like she tells him about this, because he heard it on the phone. Which should already tell you Yusuke's character, because he's like immediately going to the scene. Even though he has no idea how he can help. Because that is Godai. Godai is a good boy who just wants to do good. But as Yusuke is driving there, we see a beam of light shoot up from the ruins, because a unidentified figure, for the most of the series, this is unidentified life form 0, because all the Gronki are called unidentified life forms, and then the number they appear, or the number order they appear in. But just to get it out of the way, this is Indagawa Zeba. Say hi to our main villain. This is his first appearance. This is also his last appearance for a while. We're not going to see him for a while. But he begins to revive the Grongi that are buried at the site. We then get there in the morning. Our main police character, Karo Ichijo, is on site, along with rescue personnel, as they're going over the ruins, trying to figure out what the hell happened, because, yeah, big beam in the sky, people dead, and all this other stuff. Yeah, that's not normal.
What? That's not normal?
And it's... No, and it's only gonna get stranger from here. Yusuke tries to sneak into the site. Specifically by trying to just sneak in like he's normal, and then gets stopped by Ichijo. And then he's told, like, go away. But then Yusuke's like, look, over there! And then everyone but Ichijo actually falls for it. So Yusuke almost gets in, but Ichijo stops him by actually tripping him and almost landing him face first onto, like, the steps of this tomb. Because Ichijo is just not having any of his bullshit today. So at this point, Yusuke's pretty much going to get run off. But one of the rescue personnel brings out a belt. This is the Arkle. This is Kuuga's belt. That is probably the first and last time you'll probably hear me say Arkle in the recap. But it gives Yusuke visions of the past with Riku, because it's decided that, hey, you look like you are main writer material. Slap me on and let's go. That's it.
Boy, at this point, is it sadly mistaken?
Yeah. Also, Yusuke introduces himself as just a guy who's passing through, which I guess that's where Tsukasa got his catchphrase, is from this one line of Yusuke's.
Probably. That's the bad thing, probably.
Yeah. We do also see Godai's business card of professional dream chaser, and he's got 1,999 skills. What are all his skills? I have no idea, to be honest. It's probably enough. But as Yusuke is getting run off, he does see one of the glyphs on the side of the Arkle, and he will proceed to send that to Saotari for her to translate, because she's going to be translating all of our text, because the Lento letters, I believe, the Lento text, because these are not technically Grongi, these are Lento text, because we'll get there when it gets brought up in the show. These are all translatable, because it's a language derived from Japanese. I think they hired a linguist to get this all to work. I think. I don't remember.
I can say it.
But this is an actual language that can be translated, if you know what the hell you're doing.
Or have a old school computer.
That too. Anywho, we cut to police headquarters. Yusuke's outside when Saotari shows up. She shows him the glyph for the Arkle. The glyph translates to power. And then when Ichijo shows up, he takes them inside and shows them a videotape of what happened at the ruins, which is Zamba showed up, murdered everyone, found the Arkle, threw it down because he was pissed at Kuuga, and then left. That was it. He also looks absolutely terrible because of his fucking afro hairdo thing, whatever it is. I'm just gonna say right now, I love Kuuga. There are some parts of the show that are just unforgivable. And Dagava Zaba's look before the final episodes is garbage. Because it looks terrible. But after they're done watching it, an officer comes in to talk to Ichijo, and he leaves, leaving Yusuke and Satori alone with the belt. And that is when we cut to officers in another part of the city as, oh no, a giant spider web has shown up in the town, and there's a monster in the middle of it. This is our first proper Gronki. And it's a spider because reference. Cops try to shoot it. It doesn't work because the Gronki are bulletproof. And they all have healing factors. So it just mows through them and then just hijacks a car with a guy driving in it. That then proceeds to drive into the building Yusuke and Satori are leaving. And then starts attacking people there. And that's when the Arkle gives another vision to Yusuke. And he decides, well, I gotta slam the belt on, because that's the best idea I got at the moment. So he does. And then the belt scene burns through his shirt and absorbs into his body. Which I like that they had to describe that all off camera, because, yeah, we ain't got the budget for that. We have nowhere close to the budget for this. So Godai tries to fight the Grongi, doesn't quite work, until the belt activates, giving him his growing form, which is his white, small-horned version. Think of this as low-power Kuuga. That is here so Godai gets jobbed out and gets the shit kicked out of him at every turn. Because Godai will not win a fight in growing unless it's kind of by accident. Because, yeah, growing form is not good. So Godai tries to fight the Grongi, tries to just punch him, kick him, push a vein into him through a wall, because that's gotta kill something, right? Nope. Fights it for a bit. They end up on a rooftop, and that's when Ichijo shows up in a helicopter that is poorly green screened into this scene. It looks so bad. God, it looks so bad. So, Grongi takes the fight to the helicopter, a whole bunch of back and forth and stuff. Godai ends up saving Ichijo and kicks the monster out of the helicopter. He gives Ichijo a thumbs up before he just jumps out of the helicopter, before he's gonna go like, hey, are you that guy? And that's the end of episode 1, which takes us to episode 2, Henshin, because technically it's transformation, it's Henshin. We're just calling it Henshin. We start off with our third Grongi, who is the back Grongi, murders some random woman that gets out of a parking lot, or gets out of her car in a parking lot. We get to the next day, into the morning with Satori, who's at a cafe with Yusuke, who's been out cold for like 11 hours because, yeah, Kuuga takes a lot out of you on the first go around. Yusuke kind of waves off the whole thing because, like, he's fine, but I do want to point out that I think it's this part and then another part in another episode kind of showcases that Godai doesn't like fighting. He only really fights when he has to.
Yeah, I kind of was getting that vibe.
Mm-hmm. Which will play a lot into the rest of this series, shall we say. It also feels like one of those really understated moments that is really important for you to catch. They're gonna return to Tokyo, but by this point... Oh wait, no, Ichigo's not caught up with them yet. We do see Ichigo arrive at a crime scene where... Or no, he gets told about instances of kidnappings and cows being drained of blood and other weird shit that's just started happening since that day, and it's just like, oh fuck. Oh no. But he does arrive at the cafe eventually, and talks to Godai outside, be like, you're number 2, right? Because even though both of Kuuga's forms look similar to each other, they're going to be counted as different things for some stupid reason.
I mean, they're different colors.
But they're the same. They don't even look like the Grongi. It looks like a suit of armor.
I love that they point that out even. And it still doesn't make them go away.
But at this point, Ichigo tells him, hey, this is not your problem, even though you have the belt and stuff. We will handle them, even though the spider guy got away. And Yusuke got that out of him, so... but he does tell Yusuke, go talk to this medical examiner person I know to get checked out, because we don't know what that belt did to you. So, go here, please. We will get to that in the next batch of episodes. Because Kuuga likes setting up things for the long game. We then cut over to a church, where Ichigo arrives at the crime scene, where we find, dead lady. She's got 2 marks in her neck, like she has been bitten by a vampire and had her blood drained. Because, yes, welcome to the standard for Kuuga. Pretty much we're going to start every couple episodes with a crime scene. And, oh no, what weird, dumb way did this person die today? And how many has it been until we got to this crime scene? Because, how do you feel about an off-screen body count?
I'm guessing that one racks up quick.
I believe we are 6 digits by the end of the series. It is ridiculous. And bear in mind, most of this is off-screen. I think the on-screen count is probably in the triple digits by the end, because it's still a lot. But the off-screen count is 6 digits at minimum. Yeah. But yeah, they're investigating it. Yusuke arrives. He overhears a mother and child being worried about a local priest, because this church is I don't want to say it's a Catholic church, because there's a lot of subdivisions on this, but it's a non-standard, like, I guess, Shinto church. It's
a church.
It's a church. It's a church. If you're in the States, you understand what that means.
Better to leave it at that. That way it don't offend too many people.
Yes. This is what happens when you have a non-religious man talking about this. Anyway, he shows up, tries to talk to the priest. He kind of doesn't say anything, and it also doesn't like the light for some reason. That's not suspicious. And then Godai's like, okay, you're fine. I'm just gonna leave now. Bye. And as he leaves, we do see that there's a corpse behind the podium. So, yeah. Hello, Grongi.
Also, that is the only thing that gets mentioned of Body 2. It never gets brought up again, even when we come back here.
To be fair, it burned. I would assume.
I mean, after those events, yes. Before those events, no.
Yeah. But afterwards, Yusuke goes back to Sawatari at the restaurant, picks them up. We find out that she's going to the funeral for one of the research people. And Yusuke's gonna just follow along. Ichijo, meanwhile, gets reports of our third one, our fat friend, who's attacking police officers. I believe that night. Godai does show up to try to fight it, but just gets broke out of his transformation because he's still in growing form, and growing form is low power Kuuga. It sucks. It cannot fight anything. And it pretty much knocks around Godai and knocks out Ichijo, injuring him severely. But it does run off when the more cops show up. Godai sticks with Ichijo at the hospital until he leaves, even though the nurse is like, "Sir, you have cracked ribs. Please lay down." And he's like, "No, I'm fine," as I try not to show that I am going to be limping out of here in massive amounts of pain. Godai tries to tell him to like help, and Ichijo's like, "No, this is our job. This is no job for a civilian. Stay out of it." More or less, he's trying to make Godai take this seriously, which the scene later will help drive that home for him. At this point, Godai heads back to Sawatari, tells her about how all of his visions keep having a red warrior and not a white one, and that he should be red, not white, and he doesn't know why he can't go red.
You don't know why he can't be the lead Power Ranger.
Yep.
And there's a...
We then cut to the funeral. Sawatari is inside attending the funeral. Godai is just kind of hanging out outside. He does spot the daughter of one of the researchers, Mika, leave because she is absolutely broken up about this. Because, yeah, your dad kind of got slaughtered by a big giant monster. And should also point out the cops are keeping this on the download and just saying it's bear attacks and other stuff. It's not it's not monsters. It's totally not monsters. We don't want to cause a panic. I'm pretty sure
we just got a bunch of bears running around.
I'm pretty sure that would also cause a panic of, oh god, how are there so many bears that are just out in the wild?
Yeah. Yeah.
That is a lot of bear attacks. But when Godai sees this, this kind of hits it home of, yeah, this is what happens if we don't find a way to stop this. Because, yeah, by the way, the cops are in over their heads. They have no means to handle this. But later on, Ichijo talks to an old man that's at a ramen shop to get info on the bat Grongi, because apparently he got attacked by it, and it's the one that mentions that it doesn't like light because it ran off when it was becoming morning. But no one took him seriously because he's a drunk. But Ichijo hears him out, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, he went into church," and Ichijo's like, "Oh, this is where I'm going." And I believe at this point the cops have been issued semi-automatic, MP5s and rifles and shit, and revolvers, I think.
I believe so.
Yeah, it's like, no, we're busting out the big guns for this. And it's like, that's not gonna help, because Ichijo goes in rifle in hand, because it's actually a rifle, not a shotgun, because you can see the bolt action lever on it, which I would think a shotgun would at least maybe stun him for a quarter of a second instead of this rifle. But he heads in, he gets knocked around by the bat, As he's getting knocked around, the candelabra gets knocked over and sets some drapes on fire. So now the church is burning down. Not good. Godai at this point shows up as well, riding his motorcycle in and just running it into where the candelabra fell over, exploding it, leaving him motorcycleless. But he does help Ichijo stop being on fire because his coat got caught on fire in the middle of all this. He tries to help Ichijo, and throughout he tells him, like, no, I'm gonna take this seriously. I'm gonna, do right. So just help me. And then we get the first proper henshin for Yusuke, and also this is what the vice stamp for Kuuga is referencing. Because, again, Godai has no catchphrases, so we just have to grab whatever thing we can to make it work. But as an extra note, all of Kuga's forms are elemental themed, kind of. So that's why Mighty is debuting in a fire, and why we'll see the other forms debut with relatively same elements nearby, kind of. So Godai is in his proper Mighty form, which is his red form, just beats up the Bat one, ends up getting to fight the Spider one from earlier as well, and as the Bat leaves because it starts becoming morning randomly, because it got morning real quick during this fight. Like broad daylight morning after being the dead of night.
Yeah.
Godai manages to land a errant kick that leaves his foot smoking and leaves a glyph on the Grongi that makes it go kaboom.
That will be important.
Yes. Let's just say there's a thing about Kuga's power set that people forget about that makes him not as effective against anything that isn't the Grongi, technically. Or at least, he is not as destructive as people claim he is. Because it's not how his powers work. But with the Grongi beat, Godai just rests Ichijo on his shoulder as he just wakes up. He's just like, did you get it? Yeah. Alright, I guess we're in this together now. And that ends episode 2. How'd you feel about our first 2 episodes?
I feel like I already like this cast far more than some of the shows we've done.
Yeah, it's...
And they've not even done any real character development yet.
No. It helps that you have just good guy Godai. You have Ichijo, who's the cop and serious, but he's not like... He wants to pick a fight. And then you have Satari, who's just trying to deal with Godai on a daily basis and makes her very tired. And this isn't even like the full cast at this point. Like, we're still gonna get like several more like recurring characters like throughout the show, or throughout this beginning part of the show. But yeah, we get straight good characters right off the bat. But I'm gonna step away real quick before we hit the second half, alright?
Sure.
Alright, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Shall we hit the second half then?
No.
Alright then, we pick up with episode 3, Tokyo. So we start at the hospital where Ichijo's waking up because in more pain than he was before, because now his chest is bandaged up because the man likes punching above his weight the whole show. Like, bear in mind, Ichijo will not be able to kill a Rongi on his own the whole show. That will not stop him from trying to fight someone. He's essentially Taki from the original series. Except being proficient in martial arts, he's proficient in gun. But he's bandaged up, and he's got a note from Godai like, hey, I gotta go take care of the thing real quick, but I'll be back. See you later. That's when we cut to Godai and Saotari, because they get off the subway. Godai's like, hey, can you translate more of the stuff on the belt for me real quick? For me? And she's like, no, I need a nap. Goodbye. I'll do it tomorrow. So she leaves. And I guess I'll just bundle all these together because throughout the episode, we have more of the Grongi kind of exploring Tokyo and seeing how the world has changed because bear in mind, they haven't been alive since like ancient times. So things like cars and currency and other stuff are like, the fuck is this shit? What is this thing that keeps honking at me? It's making me very upset. That's when we get a quick scene with Ichijo as we find out that when they got dogs out to try to track down our bat friend, the dog flipped the fuck out and tore up some cop's jacket because it wanted no part of this, which, fair. The dog probably gets the whiff of something that's just like, nope, I don't want to be near this. That's when we get back to Godai as we see that the thing he needed to get to was drop by his sister's the preschool, I think. I think this is a preschool. Or just a school.
At least a school.
Yeah. A school that his sister works at to go say hi to the kids and I guess do a show for them that he normally does. I do have to give him credit because when he starts juggling before the scene cuts, he's juggling 3 awkwardly shaped things and he's doing it perfectly. Because he's juggling like a ball, some sort of like rod-shaped thing, and something else. And it's like, that has to be the most awkward thing to try to juggle, even if it's only like 3 things. But while Godai's doing that, we check in with Ichijo as he's talking to a researcher, and that's when we find out that an analysis of the blood of one of the Gronkies shows that it is similar to human blood. Not exactly, but close. That's important. That's when we get to a meeting with a bunch of higher-ups that Ichijo's attending, as they more or less recap some information from the last couple episodes about the Grongi and stuff. The word comes down, okay, these things show up, we shoot on sight, kill them, doesn't matter if the white one and the red one are different, they're still the same thing, kill them. And Ichijo tries to stick up for Godai, but with no proof, he kind of can't. So Godai's kind of on the hit list now. We also find out, because Godai tries to call Yusuke on the number left on his card, and he just gets a restaurant, which is where he lives technically, sometimes. So he tries calling Sartari, who is asleep, so no help. We do get a quick scene with Godai telling Minori about all what's going on. I think we don't get specifications of what all he's told her. So I don't know how much she knows.
Yeah. That's
Mm-hmm. But he ends up leaving at this point. We get a quick scene with Ichijo and a cop introducing the Tri-Chaser 2000 instructional video of, hey, this is a big fancy bike.
Guess whose bike this is going to be in like 5 seconds?
But then we check in with Godai, who is at the pole, breaking into the pole because, oops, I lost my keys when I crashed my motorcycle into a fire. Guess I have to go in through the window. And I like that. I assume a neighbor just kind of drops by and is like, oh, hey, Godai, did you lose your keys again? Yes. All right, have fun. Like, this is just fucking normal. Of him just scaling a building and it just walking into this top window. We come back to Ichijo as he's out looking for the bat, Grongi, and he ends up bumping into random lady with black dress and boa. And he bumps into her, and then she says something in Grongi, and then walks away. And then Ichijo's like, hang on, what did you just say? And then she clams up, and he tries to ask her more, and then she just books it, and he gives chase. She loses him around a corner after some rose petals, but he just swiftly catches up. And he finds her at a warehouse talking to her bat friend. They talk for a bit about stuff we'll get to later. And when Ichijo kind of gets revealed, she attacks him and it's just like, we're not dealing with him at the moment. That's not how we work. Leave him. We're leaving. We got better shit to do. So the two of them leave. We see four Grongi meet up and then get accosted by a couple of punks. And then one of them gets kneed by the girl of the group directly into the ceiling, into like the underpass they're in, and onto the floor and just is dead. And then she chases after the other one because fuck him. She's in no mood. But this is also our first mention of the Lento, which the notes say are Rento. I believe it's technically Lento. Lento are humans, just for anyone watching along and wondering, the hell is this? It's human. It's their word for human. But at this point, our very fast cheetah Grongi friend has been spotted and has chased down the motorcycle guy. Nearby, Godai, coincidentally enough. Because the Grongi ends up crashing some police motorcyclists nearby. And as he crashes, Godai's like, oh, officer, are you okay? Yeah, you okay? All right, I'm stealing your motorcycle, bye. And steals it to try to chase after the Grongi. And then tries to ride it up some stairs that he can just walk up and doesn't. And the bike falls over. It's a setup for a really dumb fight scene later. Look, what's coming up is indefensible in my opinion, because I'm sorry, it's dumb. It's really dumb.
I mean, fair.
Oh wait, no, that's actually later. But Godai does fight the Grongi for a bit until the police surround him, and then they all line up to shoot both him and the Grongi before the episode ends. Which takes us to episode 4, Sprint. So they fire at both of them. They end up hitting some, I guess, gas cans nearby, and an explosion happens, but both of them get away. Which Ichijo finds out later, and he's kind of relieved that, Godai's not dead. Fortunately, the cheetah Grongi got her right eye shot out. We see her, pull the bullet out so her eye can heal later, because the Grongi also have healing factors, besides being bulletproof-ish. But at this point, information about the unidentified platforms gets out, and a task force is being put together, and Ichigo is going to be put on that task force representing the local area he's in. And he's off to give his report. We catch up with Sartari as she stumbles upon Godai, who's just asleep in her office. And she tells him, maybe don't go back there, because they'll probably try to shoot you again. But not much else, besides she's just going to continue doing her translations. Ichigo and Yusuke get in contact with each other, decide to meet up. And this is when we catch up with the Grongi and get our first extended scene with them. And this is where we find out that they're gathering for a game, but the cheetah one's nah, I'm not in the mood for the game. I want to go murder them because they took my eye out, which is against their rules, because they've got rules. It's not necessarily complicated, but it's a thing we'll get to. There's a lot of we'll get to it later with the Grongi, unfortunately. But she heads out to go do some murdering. That's when Ichigo contacts Sartori about the cheetah one being out and about. We get a chase scene. That's when the officer crashes and Yusuke steals the bike and then can't, because police bike can't go upstairs. And that's when Ichigo kind of arrests him to get him out of the way before someone asks too many questions about, wait, why are you doing this, sir? Wait, this is the third time you've been near a crime scene. The two of them talk for a little bit before we get to police headquarters. And we find out the cheetah is attacking the police, beating the shit out of them. And Ichigo's well, Godai is the only one that can handle this at the moment. Here's the keys to the Tri-Chaser 2000. And by the keys, I mean the literal... one of the handlebars is technically the key to this motorcycle. I don't know why that's the case, but it is. Also, that's technically a plot point. Kind of. But, Ichigo gives him the keys to the Tri-Chaser so he can give chase. He does, gets to the scene in time, saves one of the officers from getting killed. Asks him if he's okay, he is. Follows the Grongi to a building where we get the dumbest fight scene in all of Rider, where Godai chases this cheetah Grongi throughout the building on the motorcycle.
Yeah.
He could walk and run faster than it takes for him to get around on this fucking motorcycle. It's the dumbest thing in the world. I hate it. No, you don't need to showcase it like this. But yeah, they fight with that for a little bit. The cops show up. They're ready to shoot them both. Ichijo's like, no, don't shoot the red one. But they're like, we got orders. And then the cop from before shows up. It's like, no, it's fine. Red one's good. This gives Godai the opportunity to do the improvised kick thing he does. Gets the sigil on our cheetah friend. Goes boom. Yusuke gives the thumbs up. Ichijo returns it. And that's the episode. So how'd you feel about this pair?
I mean, besides the stupid bike chase thing, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know where that bike chase comes from. Bear in mind, that will never happen again.
Good.
I think it happens once more, and that's when we get the second bike. Maybe. But, like, they're gonna pull a stunt like this again. I don't know if this is to try to sell the toy of the bike, because there's not many toys to sell.
Maybe.
But still, it's weird and dumb.
Yeah. Emphasis on the dumb.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, otherwise I'm enjoying it so far.
Yeah. We're getting set up and stuff, which, according to the writer wiki, the show's actually split into 3 arcs.
Huh.
Let me grab those names real quick. The first 16 episodes are called the Rebirth arc, and they're just the introduction of the main cast with Godai and the Grongi and all that. Then you have 17 through 35, which is the Evolution arc, which is more or less our upgrade arc. And then 36 through 49 are the Ends arc, which is more or less end of the show. Which, by the way, since we're at the odd number of 49, we get 5 episodes at the end, which actually works because the 49th episode is actually an epilogue.
That does kind of work, then.
Yeah, there's no fight in episode 49. Godai doesn't even transform into Kuuga in episode 49, so it's a proper epilogue to the series. Yeah, it's good. I'm happy to be watching Kuuga again. It is very much a favorite of mine. I will try to read the novel closer to when we're going to end the show, so I can tell y'all what happens in the novel. Because I've had it bookmarked for years and still haven't watched it. Well, still haven't read it. I can't watch a novel.
I mean, you can try. Just don't think it's going to be successful there.
Not really. Yeah, any other thoughts?
Huh?
Alright, then next week we continue where we left off with Kuuga, but between now and then, Wednesday, we continue Prime 2. As we get into this next area proper, I feel like.
Yeah.
After, I swear Prime 2 keeps throwing out worse and worse boss fights, and I'm like, stop it. Whatever I
think it does.
Yeah. Thursday, I'll be continuing Arceus. Saturday, we're going to talk shop on the video games on the podcast. And Sunday is our continued look at Kuuga. So, if you like what you're seeing, drop a follow. Really appreciate chipping away that affiliate goal. At TGC on Twitter gets you updates in real life. Exclamation point Discord and chat. Get you this sort of thing. Drop by, say hi. See you Wednesday, folks.